And all the details and stuff, I'll hand that out in the session when we go to hand it out that motion to everybody.
Like to call to order the meeting of the Isabella County Board of Commissioners. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, the roll call, please.
Weber,
Here.
Commissioner Campbell,
Here.
Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hope. All present, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have the approval of the agenda. We have general public comment on agenda items only, presentations and special reports, appointments to board and commission. We have one. We have the consent agenda. We have committee reports with the Finance Committee of the whole minutes, the MIDC Commission, and we will have Motorola milestone payment. We'll have the equalization report. We'll have the Isabella County Personal Manual for non-represented employees, the Administrator Controller contract, intergovernmental affairs. We have none. Administrator Controller report. We have no unfinished business. We have two items on unfit or new business. We have the Heartland MMCA Eagle Grant funding letter request, a work directive change order with Spicer Group. And then we need to have a motion to go into closed session under section 15.268C of the Open Meetings Act. We also have general public comments, announcements, and then we'll have an adjournment. Is there any additions or subtractions at this time be needed for the agenda?
Move adoption of the agenda as presented.
Support Marino.
Supported by Jazinski, supported by Marino. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Okay, we have an agenda. This time we'd like to open it up to general public comment for agenda items only. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes and state your name so people, if they're listening online, knows who it is. So at this time, is there anybody who would like to come up to speak on general public comment?
Thank you for adding the agenda to the agenda, the change order for Spicers in the amount of $8,500 as a step towards securing reasonable workspace for the county employees. With that said, I can imagine once numbers are generated, we will soon see another bottom. The voters most recently have expressed their exhaustion of the overspending of our taxpayer dollars, as we have seen with the failure of the road patrol. While many know the need for road patrol, many voters have hoped that they desire this to persuade you to reevaluate the current spending in the current budget. Yet, you have not picked up reevaluation of the current budget, even though you have asked the sheriff to look at his budget. If I recall, I believe the sheriff had said bringing back at least 6 road patrol would help his department keep up with the ever-expanding duties of very few staff. But again, You have not done the same, and you are continuing to prioritize the county building over community safety. While you have a large role in determining how to spend money, I like to think that I know enough about the voter that I can foresee the failure that will happen with the bond intent if you do not capture and rebuild the trust of the voter and the taxpayer. In an effort to help this county find the safety of road patrol and restore the county employees to good workspace, I offer the following to help build trust to successfully restore the county building. Number one, first, prioritize community safety and staff our sheriff's department appropriately to manage the safety needs of the county. Yes, this means cutting all unnecessary budget items and expenses, no matter how small. For example, excessive dues and subscriptions, your commissioner healthcare that comes with part-time employment, MSU extension, or the Human Rights Committee. There are many more. Number two, give the community more than just the one option through Spicers, including different plans and other options for rental space for employees and possible demolition of the county building. Number three, if the time comes for a bond, do not force the bond on the voter, but rather put it to the polls and let the voter decide. This is their money, not yours. If necessary, I'd like to publicly consider the possibility of using funds found through elimination of unnecessary expenses to send one or two of you to Washington, D.C. to meet with Musk and learn how to further Doge Isabella County. However, if you'd like to save that expense, let me know and I can set up a meeting for you to meet with a few local folks that have combed through the budget and found space for elimination. Please consider all of this in discussion concerning the approval of the change order for Spicers. Thank you.
Okay, is there any other comments at this time? Is there anybody online or on the phone? Okay, we'll close the general public comments for agenda items only. We have no presentations and special reports. We'll move right on to appointments to board and commissions. And let me see, Commissioner Jelisinski, you want to start us off?
Chairperson's request for nominations, one opening on the Isabella County Jury Board to complete a 6-year term ending April 30th, 2031, or until a successor is appointed. I will nominate Sharon Brown for that position.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved that we support or nominate Sharon Brown for that position. It's been supported. Go ahead, discuss them.
Background, she currently serves as chair of the jury board and comes with the recommendation for Sarah Spencer Nagler, one of our judges, and also Circuit Court Judge Ellen.
Okay, is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations?
I will move that nominations be closed and a unanimous ballot be cast for Sharon Brown for Isabella County Jury Board.
Support.
Been moved and supported that we pass unanimous ballot for Sharon Brown. Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. We will appoint Sharon Brown. Okay, let's move right up to the consent agenda. Commissioner Swaney.
Motion reads, move to approve and place on file April 1st, 2025 regular meeting minutes and the April 8th, 2024 Finance Committee, Committee of the Whole meeting minutes.
Support.
Been moved by Swaney, supported by Jelisinski, to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? I have one comment. And Commissioner Swaney, we would like to see your face, smiling face if you want to on there. So your fan will probably be giving us emails pretty soon, so. Okay, it's been moved and supported that we approve the consent agenda. If there's no more discussion, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Okay, let's move right into committee reports.
Finance Committee, Committee of the Whole, March 28th, 2025 invoice list, April 4th, 2025 invoice list, and March 27th, 2025 adjustments list. Motion move to ratify and place on file the March 28th, 2025 invoice list in the amount of $270,499.24. The April 4th, 2025 invoice list in the amount of $2,010,242.83, and the adjustments list dated March 27th, 2025.
Support.
Moved by Weber, supported by Swaney. Would you like to start it off and explain this?
First of all, for the March 28th, 2025 invoice list, the total amount was $270,499.24. Out of that, the general fund portion was $65,181.39. The two big items that came out of that was to MRP Properties of $17,091.46 for temporary admin building rent for May. And then the other was to Advanced Benefit Solutions in the amount of $21,892.53 for the April 2025 dental vision expense.
Any questions? Okay, proceed to the next item.
Next, we have the April 4th, 2025 invoice list. Total amount of invoices was $2,010,242.83. Out of that amount, $97,243.60 was general fund. Big monies out of this one was to Clark Construction Company for $1,580,128. 33 cents for the March construction charges for the correction facility. And then there was also $16,335.55 for monthly medical examiner fees for the month of March. And then there were also other ones related to public defenders and state of Michigan remonumentation and other related court items.
Questions, comments? Okay, I don't see any. So let's do the last or the next one, March 27th.
The March 27th, 2025 adjustments list. This list is for your review and approval for invoices that were added to avoid late fees or to get early payment discounts. We have one in here that was to Coldwater Township. It was an invoice added for 2024 final settlement from the treasurer's office. We had one where there was a $4 error on a sales tax charge that we took off. And then there was another one where there was a data entry error on an invoice, actually two of them that were corrected and changed.
Okay, any comments on that last one or the whole? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Swaney, Commissioner Hope, Commissioner Weber, Commissioner Campbell,
Yes.
Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Engler. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Commissioner, would you like to do the next one?
Item number 2 is a Michigan Indigent Defense Commission fiscal year 2026 grant agreement. Motion reads, move to approve the submission of the fiscal year 2026 Michigan Indigent Defense Commission MIDC Compliance Plan Grant Application and Cost Analysis.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved by Hope, supported by Jazinski. Discussion. Houseman's not here. Do you want to take it?
Yeah, I can briefly go over. So in the background, you'll see the state of Michigan has developed a comprehensive approach to the defense of indigent defendants across the state by the passage of the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission Act. And then funding units, 165 in the state, were required to submit a plan to the MIDC by November 20th, 2027 to address how they will comply with the first 4 standards. We currently are all in agreement and in compliance with the 8 standards. So this amount right here holds the fiscal year 2026 share. Actually, instead of the 230,000, if you were to look at your new packet that they sent out, it's actually a few dollars less. It's $239,606.17 is the local share on this. The total request on this is $1.7 million roughly, give or take a few dollars. Another thing that I would like to point out on this is that on page 19 of 33 of the new packet that was sent out, they are asking for some additional staffing for the corrections to help with going back and forth. So, and I know the sheriff just approached, so if the sheriff, do you want to touch upon this one a little bit? Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no problem. So there was an opportunity through the grant process to potentially obtain a corrections officer or two, or maybe even a records clerks or booking clerks or something to help offset the hours that were tied up with the MDIC requirements. We did a study for the last 11 days. Averaging that out at 30 days for the month, we were at about 100 hours a month tied up with MDIC. So pretty substantial time that our correction staff are off the floor, away from inmates, doing the job, tied up with this. So I did create some grant language and put those numbers together. I have forwarded that on to Mr. Helsman, and he is going to put that into the grant and see if we can get a couple of staff members for that. Again, you know, and there has been grant awards for staff for other counties. It's just one of those things where it's always that little concerning because grant funded positions sometimes disappear. But right now we, you know, today we had to mandate 3 people in between multiple things that were going on and medical issues that we had to go out. So it's just, we're tapped for resources. So we're looking at any opportunity we can get to put a body or 2 back in there and help us.
One thing I'd like to point out, this does not increase the local share on this one. It still holds the same. And I did email Mr. Hausman on this and asked, if you get the grant the first time, does this greatly increases the chances that it's repeated in the next grants? And he said, typically, yes, once it's granted that first year, it kind of rolls over. It's not guaranteed, but it's a greater likelihood that this would be a long-term possibility.
Need.
Other comment I'd like to make real quick is that we're required to do the 1 through 8 standards regardless if we do a grant or not. So the local shares remain the same, but we would still be responsible for the full amount if we did not apply for this grant. So. Hey, thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Discussion. Questions? Okay, let's move this forward then. Madam Roll Call, would you do a vote, please?
Commissioner Hope, Commissioner Weber, Commissioner Campbell.
Yes.
Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Engler. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Campbell, would you take the next item?
Yes.
Move to approve the payment of Motorola Milestone 8 in the amount of $301,185 for the radio tower project.
Support. Been moved by Campbell, supported by Marino. Discussion. Sheriff was just up here. I think it's the completion of our last one. Do you want to make a comment on it? Would you?
Move.
Should have had you
This is
stay
a
there,
pretty
Sheriff.
simple.
Getting your exercise in today.
Like to spend a lot less time in this chair. So again, just this process for the radio tower and radio funds that we were awarded, the $4.8 million from the state of Michigan, kind of wrapping up to the end. The tower was built, turned on, works great. This was a change order. During our phased approach, we determined that we wanted to make sure we had certain areas covered with coverage. When the tower went online, we did a pretty intensive, all the agencies did a pretty intensive radio check, basically, if you will. CMU had great success, the city, we did. We had several areas that never worked before that worked after the radio tower was up and running. There was one private business that didn't, about 3/4 of the building did work. The other portion didn't so well, but we've communicated with them. It's one of the emergency departments, and they're going to work on that internally. But two of the areas that we really thought we needed to work on was the Shepherd schools and the new tribal school. Neither had good coverage after the tower was turned on. So the bidirectional antennas, or the BDAs, fix that. It's basically they just run some cable wire and an antenna, and it brings that signal in. The engineering studies have been done on that. The two vendors that'll be working on those two projects have been engaged. We did a LOU, or letter of understanding, for Shepherd schools and the tribal schools. The Shepherd ones returned, theirs signed, so they can start their work. Tribal, we're still waiting for their legal to review theirs, and they can get started on theirs. So that was a $300,000 change order. Long picture, we still want to replace all the subscriber stuff, which is the radios and mobiles in the cars. We still have funds to do that. This is included in that, but it's get us all of the radios for a refresh for all the police agencies in the county outside that MSP who has their own pot of money. And it leaves just shy of a few pennies, basically, of about $100,000 that we applied as a match to a 2% grant for the dispatch center that's trying to upgrade their backup center in case they're ever taken out or theirs fails or something happens over to CMU. So CMU is going to pitch in some money. We had this money left over for cleanup, and that was all part of it since day one, the phased approaches. Some grant money, and this is a pretty good project. It's really increased coverage. It's not only law enforcement, it's fire, it's EMS, it's anybody that's on that system for sure.
Less than desirable communication related to the Shepherd School main campus in Shepherd, or is it their outlying campus in Wynn?
Yeah, it was the main campus. It was the elementary, middle school, and high school there right in Shepherd. The one in Wynn always had fairly good coverage. It's a little closer, straight line to where the 6303 tower is. We don't have much problem in that building, so.
Okay, any more questions? Be nice to get that project done. 4.8 million, it was a nice grant, so. Okay, seeing no more discussion, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Weber, Commissioner Campbell, Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hope, Commissioner Engler. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Marino, you want to pick up the next item?
It's the 2025 equalization report on the STC Form L 4024. The motion reads, move to approve the 2025 equalization report on the STC Form L 4024 as presented by the Equalization Department and required by state statute, and authorize the chairperson of the Board of Commissioners and the county clerk to sign the same and direct it to be filed with the county clerk's office and with the state tax commission in a timely manner.
By Moreno, supported by Hope. This is a form that we have to required to fill. It's usually real tight schedule on it, so.
Mr. Preston's here in case there's any additional questions on this one, but it's routine. You have to do this every year, and requires the chairman to sign about 20 documents at the end of this meeting to
There is a lot,
be in
yes.
compliance with it. So
I think that document would be on our website in case, because it has some interesting information on the tax form, if everybody wants to go look through it, so. The different townships, so. Yes, Commissioner.
I'd like to make a statement, thank Preston for his support of the county and the clerks in this county. As we moved equalization from a county done to more township, and also always being at these additional meetings where he may not get a question, but he has to sit here for an hour.
Hey, any more? Yes, we appreciate the work he's done. Madam Clerk, would you do a roll call, please?
Campbell,
Yes.
Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hope, Commissioner Weber, Commissioner Engler. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Commissioner Jazinski, I think we're up to you.
Number 5, Isabella County Personnel Manual for Non-Represented Employees. Motion reads, move to approve Isabella County Personnel Manual for Non-Represented Employees, sections 8.3, use of PTO hours, and 1- earn sick time act policy.
Support.
Been moved by Jazinski, supported by Swaney. Administrator Smith, you want to go into this real quick, or pretty standard, it's requirement by law, so.
Just so everybody understands, this is to make the county to be in compliance with the Earned Sick Time Act, the ESTA, for seasonal and temporary positions, employees, and it also says the use of PTO hours, so that's why H3 was changed for the full-time, which allows the use of PTO to be used for vacation leave, sick time, and it just kind of specifies in what certain circumstances time can be used for that. The main addition here is under I, and this outlines the Earned Sick Time Act. And it says how the accrual of sick will be done, the cap on usage for sick time, and then the notice requirements of that sick time. So we've had a couple people that are in this, and we've already been tracking them, anticipating that the board would be approving this. So we are in compliance with this already. This just formalizes it to the employees and the public.
Jazinski.
I don't know, first time, but seasonal employees, like with the parks, part-time employees will be eligible for sick time.
1 hour for every 30 hours work, yes. Thank you for bringing that up. I should explain that.
Okay, any more questions? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hope, Commissioner Weber, Commissioner Campbell,
Yes.
Commissioner Engler. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Commissioner Swaney, you want to grab the next item?
Administrator Controller Contract with Brian A. Smith. Motion reads, move to approve the amended Administrator Controller Contract with Brian A. Smith with an effective date of May 1st, 2025, and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
Moved by Swaney, supported by Jazinski.
What's our next holiday coming up?
Did we get clarification from council on the,
Yeah, what's in your, did you get your email or not? Basically, yeah, we did. Bonnie basically,
sorry,
it's,
Bonnie, I think, is available if.
Yeah.
I don't want to put her on the clock. I can be,
I think it's pretty well everything we discussed in the committee of the whole.
okay. I worked a lot of hours this weekend, so I didn't see anything.
You're allowed, but I guess is that what the committee agreed? That's pretty much what Bonnie sent is what we discussed and closed the door.
Okay.
I think so. I don't think I'm speaking out of line. Well,
But
the
maybe-
first time, but
But maybe for the public, just so that they understand that it does give the board the right to dismiss me for certain situations.
Cause.
So it's not just a blank check. So there are certain things that that if I were to do, you could fire me for a cause and no severance would be incurred at that point.
Really, I know the last two administrators did not have a severance because they were not, they voluntarily left.
They had
so-
it in their contract, but they never got. the
Right,
severance.
right.
Yes, okay.
In their contract, but they
Because there
resigned.
was never any cause, so it was never an issue, so.
Right.
Okay, I guess there's no more discussion, we'll proceed to vote.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope, Commissioner Weber, Commissioner Campbell,
Yes.
Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Engler. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, that causes, we'll go right in, there's no intergovernmental affairs. Administrator Controller Report, would you like to say anything? Not tonight. We have no unfinished business. We have 3 items in new business. Commissioner Hope, would you like to, wait a minute, excuse me. Didn't mean to miss you, Commissioner Weber.
The Heartland MMPC Eagle Grant Funding Letter for a requested grant amount of $10,000 and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
It's been moved by Weber, supported by Swaney, I believe. Okay.
What I'll do since this, you want to discuss it, or we can bring Jake up since this wasn't discussed in.
Let Jake, I want to get him walking. He needs to get his exercise.
Since it wasn't, in business, it wasn't discussed in finance, I think we can.
I know what's going on, but you might better let these guys know, so.
Basically, what we're doing tonight on this is because of the funding issues that the state has put us in with material management planning, we are looking, I had a conversation with somebody at Eagle that indicated that if we was to send them a letter expressing our financial issues, that they would consider passing that letter then on to the Office of Management and Budget to grant $10,000 for Isabella County to be able to work on material management planning. The idea behind it is that that would give us some money to be able to at least have funding, a little bit of funding up front to be able to possibly get somebody to help us write a plan. We used Charity and I drafted a letter that basically the design of the letter was is that it could be copy and pasted in the other 7 counties, so that every county can have their board chair do the same as with a signature, send it back to us. We'll send all 8 letters at the same time, granting $10,000. If it goes through, then that gives us 80,000 to be able to work with, 10,000 per each county. That money is allocated to each individual county. So it's not like the 80,000 would come to Isabella. It'd be 10,000 for Isabella and each additional county from there. But it gives us something then that we could be able to do an RFP, put us in a position that we could put a down payment towards somebody to be able to start that writing process and invoice us back. We can then turn around and get funding again, because they put it into a grant that's a reimbursable only grant for material management planning. And it a massive hindrance as we move forward from the state and the way that they've done it. But this is just, it gives us a way forward to be able to try and get that money up front. And then we can reimburse off of each payment then to be able to move forward. Considering that there's supposed to be 70,000 if you're working with more than one county, $60,000 plus an additional 10 for each county each year, plus the per capita money each year for each county for 3-year period. So it gives us a decent amount of funding to be able to move forward with. And then we'll also try and go back and we'll build back on labor and everything else that we've worked on to this point. So.
And the cost of that plan will be expensive. I mean, $10,000 is straight. That's why it's getting together with the other counties to share that, and do one plan is going to be quite a cost for savings, but yes.
Yeah, isn't this the biggest regional MRF that
It is
in Michigan?
It is the biggest one in the state of Michigan, but it's not, there's several other that are 5 and 6 county plans.
Mhm.
So, you know, I mean, 6 counties is this, the next biggest, but, yeah, 8 counties total is the biggest one within the state.
Thank you.
questions? It is a new item. We did discuss it, but hopefully they will respond to our letter and proceed, give us the money so we can get started forward on it, so. And you did do it for the other commissioners, you did send out an RFP for the rebuild on the MRF facility, so that's moving forward, so.
RFP meeting tomorrow for a mandatory meeting for bids on the addition on the facility. So the RFBs or RFP are supposed to be back to administration on the 30th by 4 o'clock. So hopefully, and then by the end of the month, we'll have an idea on what that cost will be.
Okay, any more questions? Seeing none, let's proceed to vote, Madam Clerk.
Sweeney? Commissioner Hope? Commissioner Weber? Commissioner Campbell? Commissioner Jazinski? Commissioner Marino? Commissioner Engler? 7 ayes, 0 nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Jake. Vote now.
Okay. Item B is work directive, change order number 3 with Spicer Group. Motion reads, move to approve work directive, change order number 3 with Spicer Group in the amount of $8,500 for conceptual floor plan, exterior elevation, conceptual site plan for potential new build of county administration building and authorize board chairperson to sign the same.
Support. By Hope, supported by Weber.
I'll start and then you can take over, but basically, we just need a good figure so we can look at possibly building a new building on the property that we own rather than renovating the building downtown. So we can do a cost comparison, see which one makes more sense financially. To do that, we need a good solid figure, and that's what this will bring us.
And so we're currently, this is again with Spicer Group. They've done all the work on the existing renovated building. So they're well aware of our space needs and everything else. So that's why this was kind of a cheaper price, because they already have the layouts of the individual departments already done. It's just getting it into a new building space. And so if we can get this going, get this done, then we can bring options to the Board of Commissioners in the near future to discuss which way they would like to move forward, whether it's renovation of the existing building or building new. And so it just puts all the numbers out there, so there's no second guessing.
Or discussion. Okay, seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hope? Commissioner Weber? Commissioner Campbell?
Yes.
Commissioner Jazinski? Commissioner Marino? Commissioner Sweeney? Commissioner Engler? 7 ayes, 0 nays, motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Commissioner Campbell, do you have the request for going into? Yeah. Okay, well,
Want to do it?
I have the move to enter into closed session under section 15.268 of the Open Meeting Act and discuss collective bargaining strategy.
been moved by Campbell, supported by Hope to enter into closed session to discuss collective bargaining. So we'll take.
Chairman, did you want to do the public comment first or?
What's the view of the board?
I would be for that, just so they don't have to come back in.
Okay, we can do that. So that's unanimous. Everybody agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll go and make that changement. So we'll open it up before that. Was there a second in there? Can we do another?
No, there wasn't. Want me to second
I get a second it, yeah.
it?
Let you,
Was there a second on the closed session?
Yes.
Oh, there was-
Oh,
oh, okay.
to go into closed session? Yes.
parliamentarian. I had part of the throw. Okay, yeah, so let's take a vote. We'll have to vote it down, then we'll have to open it up because we do have a motion on the floor and it has been supported, so. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Weber, Commissioner,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to tell you how to vote, sir.
I forget your can.
Sorry.
Yes.
okay. Commissioner Weber? Commissioner Campbell?
No.
Commissioner Delzinski? Commissioner Marino? Commissioner Swaney? Commissioner Hope? Commissioner Engler? Ayes 0, nays 7, motion approved. I'm
Okay.
sorry, motion failed.
It's hard to get out of
Okay.
the habit.
Okay, now we can open it up to general public. We can't not have two businesses at the same time on the board, so I'll open up for general public comment. Please state your name so people can hear. 3 minutes, please.
Aaron Peston. Good evening, Commissioners. I was not planning to speak this evening, but I had not noticed the addition of the agenda item for approving $8,500 for Spicer Group to develop a conceptual floor plan, elevation, and site plan. I do not recall that agenda item being discussed in last week's Committee of the Whole. As has been mentioned by several people on multiple occasions, there's a desire by many in this community, and myself for sure, to at least consider using local engineers and local buildings on our county building efforts. A few weeks ago, I reached out to a very respected commercial builder in our community who would be recognized by every one of you if I named them, as they have an outstanding reputation in our community. I did not request permission to name them publicly, so I won't do that, but I have no personal nor professional affiliation with them. This well-respected local company was willing to walk through the administration building to give their initial opinions and recommendations at zero cost to the county. I sent a request to our county administrator asking him to meet with this contractor to allow them to walk through the administration building, and I was told that the administrator is getting a building advisory group together to go through the building options layouts, and he was not prepared to bring a contractor into the building for a site visit until that advisory group had met. I'm going to assume that this purported building advisory group has met, yet this administrator and this board are wanting to spend $8,500 on an out-of-county contractor for a conceptual plan, again, without any apparent consideration for local contractors. I wish this county's leadership was as willing to use this county's local talent as they are willing to spend this county's local tax dollars. I do not understand why our county's leadership is so adverse to using the talent we have in our community, the talent of the very people who are paying the county taxes you're spending, the very people who use the services provided by this county, the very people whose friends and families live in this county, and the very people whose livelihood depends on their reputations in this county. You're unanimous, every one of you, without exception, and almost no discussion, indicates how we value outsiders as opposed to our own experienced and talented constituents. Shame on every one of you. I hope our constituents remember your priorities when they elect our next leaders.
Good evening again. I just have a question for you guys, just because I want to make sure everyone's paying attention. Do you think that the voters believe in discrimination? I'm going to guess that's a no. But as I look up here, I see a bunch of men, a bunch of white men, and maybe potentially with the exception of one. And I'm not sure when exactly a group of men get together and decide that they're just going to use our money the way that they want to use it. I don't know if I'm in a position to feel powerful. But in regard to discrimination, have you inquired with the Human Rights Committee that we pay for Bella County to ask them what they feel about the makeup of this board? My point to this, start talking about the budget. start making cuts to the budget, because I'm going to tell you guys right now, and I'm going to tell you it's the Human Rights Committee. It is the smallest one that I'm going to pick at, $3,000 a year. We do not need them. And there's a lot more in our budget that we don't need. But when you guys sit up here and you're going to talk about how we're going to spend more money, I thoroughly appreciate that we are looking into different options with the building. But I'm going to tell you right now, you will lose. You will lose if we have ballot or if you put it on the ballot. If you do not get the trust of the voter, nothing will happen for our county employees. Until we see road patrol, nothing will happen for our county employees. You have one chance to get this right. And you need to start by looking at the budget, because we have gone on since last year and not one of you have brought up the budget. Not one of you have said, let's publicly address this and see where we can start making cuts. Stop spending money. And you want to laugh out, or do you want to laugh privately? Because I'm sick and tired of you laughing at me. Yes, you. Thank you. I'm sick and tired of our money being spent to do things like figuring out how we can come up with laws to recycle marine flares in Isabella County, because we have such a problem with marine flares in Isabella County. Open the books and start cutting money before you're spending more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you for my name is Linda. Thank you for letting me speak, and thank you for the work you do. I just have a couple of statements. Kind of speaking off what Aaron said, many people have spoken about the Spicer Group, that we wanted somebody else. Again, we're not seeing that happen. I don't believe it's right that we're paying them this much, especially when there was somebody else that would have gutted that building for less here in the county or close to the county. I think somebody has a connection with them, and that's not right. Get somebody that could do the job for less, better. I think it's possible, and I think we've seen it. I think they've been here. Also, I just have a clarification. I think the sheriff, I'm not questioning him, but you said that the antennas for Shepherd School and the tribal school, what about Wademan? It was just those two areas that weren't covered? Because I know that we have police officers that can reach them within seconds, minute at the most, whereas Wademan, we're lucky if they can get there in 20 minutes. That was my real concern, is the children out there. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? Anybody online? Okay, I will close the public comment this time. I will make a real quick comment just because I'd like to clarify when some information that's not quite correct. If we have a private contractor go through or do a building, they would have to be excluded from the RFP because they would be considered to have an advantage that the other contractors didn't. So we're very careful not to have local contractors get involved without having all the local contractors get involved, because if you only have one, there would be an unfair advantage by one, even though there might not be, but there would be the perceived perception that there would be an unfair advantage in there. So we have to keep this above the board, so when everybody puts it out for an RFP, everybody can discuss it. So with that, Commissioner Campbell, would you like to redo a motion on that? For the closed door session.
Probably gonna do this wrong, but I would like to make a motion to move to closed session under section 15.268 of the Open Meeting Act to discuss collective bargaining strategy.
Support.
Moved by Campbell, supported by Moreno.
Porter, as a former parliamentarian, I don't know if you can bring the same motion up in the same meeting. However, a person on the dissenting side may move to reconsider the motion. Which I will do that. I'll move to reconsider the motion to move into closed session.
We have a motion on the floor right now. I think it was unanimous consent. Can we agree to move this forward? He did vote. Yeah, everybody voted no, so.
But it wasn't,
Robert's rules, if you have a motion on the floor that goes down, you cannot bring it up at the same meeting, the same motion, but you can have a motion to reconsider by a person that was a dissenting vote.
Commissioner Campbell was a dissenting vote as well, though.
Well, then the motion would be to reconsider that vote rather than to make it a
Make a
fresh.
friendly amendment to make a
Consider.
motion to reconsider.
I'd like to make an amendment, motion to reconsider closed session under section 15.268 of the Open Meeting Act to discuss collective bargaining strategy.
Support.
Been moved and supported that reconsider the previous motion that was voted down. Does everybody understand what we're doing? And the reason we did that is that we wanted to open it up for public comment so the people could leave and they didn't have to wait, because we never know how long we're going to be in a closed door session, so. Okay? Okay, so if everybody understands, we'll proceed to vote. Madam Clerk, we need a roll call on this.
Weber, Commissioner Campbell.
Yes.
Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hope, Commissioner Engler. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed.
We will go into closed door session. Please turn off your mics.
You want to read it?
Two, an economic nurse for 2026 to 2027, limited base wages only. Three, inclusion right of the employee to end calendar year cash out of the amount of unused vacation allowance that exceeds the maximum accumulated employee anniversary date. Number four, shift differential. Cents per hour effective January 1st. January 1st, 2025. Very compensatory timeline limiting the ability of the employee to be earned.
Support.
By Moreno, supported by Sweeney. Call vote?
Commissioner Marino?
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Commissioner Campbell?
Yes.
Commissioner Jelzzinski?
Yes.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Commissioner Jelzzinski, you want to take the next one?
Next one is motion for 911 dispatch supervisors for the 2025 contract reopener. Motion reads, move to ratify the tentative agreement reached with the POAM 911 dispatchers supervisor unit, including one, a base wage increase of 3% effective January 1st, 2025 for all employees actively employed on the date of ratification. Two, addition of compensatory time as an optional form of payment for overtime worked to a maximum of 40 hours, and any overtime work that would cause the employee's compensatory time maximum accrual to exceed 40 hours will be paid in cash wages. Three, shift differential shall be increased by 5 cents per hour effective January 1st, 2025, from 25 cents per hour to 30 cents per hour, and 5 cents per hour increase effective January 1st, 2026 to 35 cents per hour. Four, addition of Martin Luther King Jr. Day and 1/2 day on Good Friday as recognized holidays for Article 16.1 and 16.2 effective January 1st, 2025. And five, operation managers may fill in on an as-needed basis at the direction of the employer, which was tentatively agreed on by parties at the April 3rd, 2025, and ratified by the POAM on April 5th, 2025, and to authorize the board chair to sign the contract amendment once the POAM has fully executed the contract agreement.
Support.
Vote by Jelzzinski, supported by Moreno. Discussion? We spent time discussing this. If not, we'll proceed to vote. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Swaney?
Yes.
Yes.
Hopper?
Yes.
Commissioner Campbell?
Yes.
Commissioner Jelzzinski?
Yes.
Commissioner,
Yes.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
That concludes our business, so I will move to announcements. So Commissioner Jelzzinski.
Just want to kind of remind all commissioners of the Michigan Township held here tomorrow. 6 o'clock?
7.
7. 7. But yeah, one issue that's going to be discussed is the 9-day early voting. As we all know, there was legislation that was passed that was required by Citizens Voter Initiative for 9-day early voting. We've got through one season, but it has been very stressful for not only our own county clerk, but for the township clerks. And there's some misinformation out there. And I do want to give thanks to county clerk and also our county administrator for being present to answer questions and get all the issues on the table to come to a better understanding of how we're going to proceed with this in the future.
Together in case someone has to miss it. In speaking with Brian, the county administrator, and also with accounting, we have decided with all the new forms that they have, all the hoops that we have to go through, the W-9s, and how difficult it is with the money flow of paying out all these invoices for the various programming and testing and also the election workers. It's easier for us to ask the township to find one entity who would do that. And Union Township, I'm meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with Mark Stuhldreyer. I never say that right. Stuhldreyer. And Union Township Clerk Lisa Cody. With Union Township to manage that. And as a township, take on all these townships together so that they basically have control of everything. And I will still do all the harder work, which is the qualified voter file and getting everything around. And there's a lot of road mapping that needs to be done internally to get all the systems up and running. And I'll also take care of it. They want me to, it's all up to them. In the coordination of the election workers, getting them set up. And also how whoever they want to nominate to be or hire on to be the person to run the 9-day early voting from open to close for the 9 days. So not like the county's not going to still be a part of it. We are. There just will not be any flow of money in or out. So we're still stepping up because like Mecosta County, some of the county clerks are going, this isn't I'm not doing anything anymore. Here's a place you can have it at. The townships can do the rest. But if I don't step up on the QBF, most of them do not have QBF full access, which means you can get in and run it just like a county clerk can. They have partial access. So it would take one of them to actually pay and learn how to do the full access. So we're still helping them out and working, and you'll see the agreement. I can send it to you. It's a working agreement. That way, if you guys have any questions before tomorrow night's meeting, you guys, feel free to ask me, or you can ask them at the meeting too. So, thank you.
Okay.
Chairman, I just want to give a little background because it was discussed on the admin building. And initially, and I don't recall the timeline, I'd have to go back and look, but we did put out an RFP for architectural services. Architectural firms attended that meeting. None of them submitted a bid. And that was when Administrator Frost reached out to Spicer to handle that contract, and they agreed to it. So we did try to get a local architect on that. None of them responded at that time.
Say I was at that meeting, and I think we had 3 or 4 companies that did show up, and it was very disappointing that none of them followed through.
Also, isn't it a fact that Spicer has dealt with the county on many other jobs, like consortium for wind turbines, stuff about the solar farm? I mean, we have quite a history with Spicer. That's all I was trying to get.
We do. We've had good luck with Spicer. And they were going to use Spence Brothers as a general contractor, and we've worked with Spence Brothers quite a bit as well. But at this point, we have not sent anything out for bids other than we've got an agreement with Spicer to do the architectural. We don't have a general contractor. We're still looking at options. And this latest motion was so that we could have some hard numbers to look at the option of building a new building and see if financially, if that makes sense.
Couple real quick announcements. I should have did this when we had a crowd here, but we got Isabella County Historical Day, Saturday, May 31st, 2005, held here on the Commission on Aging building. They'll have historical displays and a quilt show, so I was asked to announce that. And Jerry, you might actually have to help me on this one. The tree, there's still trees to be picked up. I'm not sure what the pickup date is now. See, I just, good.
They still have a few trees.
They,
But they're done, you know, accepting them.
we just talked to Crystal today and she got a hold of a bunch of potted plants. I don't even know what they are, so they're gonna have some potted plants there. I'm not even sure what variety they are, but they got a hold of them. If it works out well, we will have it on the order form for next year. So don't even know. They just came up and picked up the water tank because there's no water at the fairgrounds, so. Okay, anybody else has any comments or announcements? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Support.
Been moved by Jelzinski to adjourn and support by Marino. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. 6:26, yes.